rock and roll here in our 602 feature event.
On the go pedal through the field, looking good on the opening start. Down into turn one, it's Baldwin on the inside lane. Sharpstein on the outside. It's Sharpstein now getting a good run in the second groove, and big wreck on the back straightaway as they pile in.
We are going to go red as we've got a car on top of the wall down the backside of the racetrack.
Big crash. It's what we were worried about with a field this size. Nowhere to go, or many of the competitors.
And it looks like most of these cars right here, Adam, have come to a stop. We see some damage, particularly on the 24 car, and of course the 76 car you see to the left side of the screen.
Blewett car with damage to the front
obviously
suspension.
Been in the outside wall, but most of those cars I think were able to just stop without getting involved. But we've got another cluster of cars just to the left of the screen here. One of those cars, as we will see, was up on top of the wall and did some damage to that infield catch fence there. So that is why we are under red here on lap number one. And a tough break for James Blewett there in the 76 car.
I think they have a couple of different rows of catch fence, maybe getting the one closest to the wall, but not the one behind it.
Correct.
So that's the good news.
Where those cars are parked, there is a fence,
right,
and then there is also a fence where the tow truck is.
So good news that they didn't have just one section of fencing down through. They have a couple protective sections of fencing in case something like this happens. But we will be under red for a moment as cleanup continues on the back straightaway. As we're going to take a look here in a moment at the Flow Racing replay of what happened. We were just ahead of it on the live edition, but we have a look at what happened down on 1 and 2. Looking to see, there we go.
Yeah.
It happened
toward,
I would say, right around...
And there you see
around the 10th positions where it took place, and they kind of stacked in behind him.
And there you see the fence just getting accordioned, and I couldn't quite get a read on which car that was. Let's see if we get a good look at what happened here. Keep an eye on the white number 2 car. He's going to make some contact right there, and they just kind of start bouncing off of one another. I believe that's one of the Dijon Tomasos right there.
That is correct.
Get pounded in the driver's door, and they just start heading down to the inside of the racetrack and up onto the wall. Take another look at it from the top of the grandstands here. Keep an eye on the white number 33 car. He's going to get turned sideways as they started to slow for the 2 car, and there's everybody with nowhere to go. And I believe the Dijon Tomaso brothers came together right there, the 33 and the 35.
So big crash. Heavy damage to a few of our vehicles. We're going to take another on this angle over from turn number 1.
That's Jerry Grody in the 2.
Gradle.
I'm sorry. Jerry Gradle in the 2.
It was just a matter of running out of room coming out of 2. And when they start to check up and you're on an original start like that many cars, it's just accordions, and that's what happened here.
And Karsten Dijon Tomaso gets turned sideways directly in front of brother Jarrett Dijon Tomaso. That's got to be a horrible feeling, seeing your brother sideways directly in front of you and knowing you don't have anywhere to go. There's Karsten Dijon Tomaso's white car stopped right there in the middle of the screen. There is the car on top of the wall, and you see the damage there. There is the catch fence there that we referenced.
As cleanup continues here from New Smyrna Speedway, as you see, we've got protective catch fence still up to the inside. So fortunately, there were 2 rows of it, and they've got another row there to protect the infield from anything that may come that way. No laps completed in this 25-lap feature for the 602 Modifieds. Cleanup continues. We'll be back with a restart and more from New Smyrna Speedway on Flow Racing. Racing replay. Great shots from the front stretch left side of the screen here is where it kind of happened. They check up, and then they just all pile in. Nowhere to go there. And we saw the 35 then of Troy Bollinger get to the side of Dijon Tomaso. I think the other Dijon Tomaso might have been able to avoid most of it.
Keep an eye on that 33 car. That is Karsten Dijon Tomaso, the driver who has won 4 of the 7 races the series has had here. There's Bollinger, and there's Jarrett.
He had some sparks there, maybe, but there. I think he might have made it through.
That might have been just from getting on the brakes, I believe. He
Could have been.
Full lock on the brakes right there. But
we know where he is now. He's right side of the screen, just out of the picture.
Yeah, Jerry Gradle right there just drifted up the racetrack directly in front of that entire group of cars, and everybody just scrambled from there on out. A couple of them went up to the outside wall. Several of them went down to the